You texted me this morning. I had no idea. I give you the floor about the Jayden Daniels injury. Roll it. Go for it, buddy.
Yeah, no, I was just texting you that, I had the exact same thing happen to me back in '07 to my off arm, dislocated the elbow, all the things that Jayden is going through. I don't know what his timetable is going to be. I knew at that time in my career, I'd been benched numerous times, and it was actually my second game. Matt Leinart got hurt. My first game as a starter after Matt got hurt I hurt my elbow, and I'm just thinking, really, finally get a chance to get back on the field, and this happens. But I actually played the next week. We put a brace on my left arm, to kind of immobilize it to a degree. I ended up handing off. Every handoff with my right hand. If you guys remember when I was doing it backwards. So I came out the next day and I'm like, okay, if I can hand it off with this other hand and I can, manage the pain with that, ended up playing the rest of the season with that. So, just a different perspective. I've heard a lot of people say, it may be, long-term for before Jayden gets back. But it is something that I think you can play through if you can manage the pain. If the team's in a position where you feel like you need him out there and you've got something to push for. It was interesting when I saw it. Didn't want to look at it, just like I don't like to look at mine. Big Julius Peppers ended up jumping on my elbow, and that's what made it go the wrong direction, as you can imagine. But I was able to come back in the short term and play through it.
Two follow-ups on that. One is, I guess, a perfect point that you mentioned. You're towards the back end of your career. And you were looking for that opportunity, and you're like, to heck with this. If I can brace it up and I can hand it off like that, I'm going to do it. This is a year 2 kid, right? Unicorn. They're 3 and 6. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just sat him out, Kurt, right?
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, no question about it, and especially because the season hasn't started the way they wanted it to. But, even more so for me, and I think most of these guys that play, it wasn't really just, well, this is my chance again. But as a player and a competitor, you're like, well, can it get worse? And the doctors told me, no, it can't really get worse. And can you manage the pain? Well, okay, we can manage the pain. All right. So you play. I mean, that's part of this business. There's guys out there every Sunday that we probably don't even know about that are playing through some kind of injury and some kind of pain. And that's just the mentality of the players. If I can be out there and I can be helping my team and I can be out there playing and competing, I'm going to do that. So yeah, of course it's different if you feel, for whatever reason, this could have a detrimental effect on Jayden Daniels moving forward. Then of course you hold him out as long as you have to, because he is the future of that franchise. But if it's similar to my situation where it's like, not going to get any worse, there's not anything we can really do about it. We just kind of got to let it heal. Hey, we can brace it up and maybe shoot it up a little bit and go play some ball.
ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. Audience is returned in the middle of the end of Kurt Warner telling us how back in 2007 he suffered a very similar injury, if not the same exact injury that Jayden Daniels suffered, and was able to just come right back and play the next week with a brace, and not saying that that's what Jayden Daniels should do. It's just what happened back then. And you had mentioned, Kurt, that Julius Peppers landed on your arm and what twisted it all up like that. Have you seen Julius at the Hall of Fame and revisited this conversation moment with him at all, Kurt, or no, not at all?
I've seen Julius, and I've congratulated him on the Hall of Fame, but this was not part of the conversation that we had. I didn't want to rehash that at all. So I'm sure Julius doesn't even remember. He's just going for a football like I was, but I'll never forget that for sure. I thought something interesting too. Like when I went back in and played, an interesting thing is when we actually got down into the red zone, they took me out and put in Tim Rattay because of some of the aspects of the red zone and handing off in tight spaces and not wanting me to hand off with my off arm. And so we took some unique precautions to make sure that I could play, but also wasn't hurting our team or myself in any way. And I think that would be another thing with Jayden Daniels is he plays the game obviously very different than I played the game. Running the ball and that aspect of things is such a dynamic part of Jayden's game. That could be another element in, hey, if we put him back in there, is he going to put himself more in harm's way because he's used to running and making plays as opposed to me just standing in the pocket and delivering throws. So just another aspect to consider.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.